Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Heroes. I do want to apologize in advance for this review for me coughing up a lung during it. Have a goofy, mucusy, gross cough right now. So it does happen. I do apologize. I'm getting over it though. So, anyway, we are talking about Avataro Sentai DonBrothers, episode 34. Really good episode overall. Pretty shocking things that happened in it. But overall, a really fun episode. But we'll see what I mean? Get into the meat of it right away. So we start off in the beginning of the episode, a little bit of a narration from Tsuyoshi talking about how let down he is, that he, how disappointed he is in himself, that he let himself become an Otsutsuki again. He let down Taro, and that Taro has all his new power, and it kind of scares him. And he's talking to the group, and he compares himself to an insect eventually. And Taro actually makes him cheer up, and is like, well, actually, I don't think you are, because sure, you've become an Otsutsuki 3 times, but each time you've reverted back to human eventually. And last episode when they wrote like the Cerebrans thing on the forehead of each one, he's like, you're the only one that has erased from. These other 2 still have it. He pulls back their like bandage thing and it still has it written on them, kind of like lightly. And so you can see that kind of like pleases Tsuyoshi, almost like he feels like kind of better than them a little bit. Again, we're really opening up a lot about him, and I wonder if there's going to be a bit of a break arc right here, a sanity break arc, where he just kind of goes off the deep end for a little while. It'd be kind of nice to see that in Sentai. You see that a lot in Kamen Rider. But yeah, so then Master Kato comes in, gives them some coffee, and Taro talks about how he's thankful for him saving his life. When Haruka asks what he means, Kaito says he didn't do anything major that happened and just walk off. And Sarahauer is really like confused by that, and even mentions like there is so much that we like barely understand about what's going on right now, which is just like kind of like the audience self-insert at this point. Like, yeah, what are we doing anyway? But you still like it. It's still good, you know. So, yeah, he's also wondering about like Taro's new power and why Sonoe has Taro like power and why he was acting like him and all of that. And Sonoe, of course, completely oblivious to this somehow, is like completely denying it, saying that he's not like him, and then flashes back to when the Ninja Arc Sword was stealing his energy and wonders if it's possible that was given to Sonoe and that's how he returned. But he tries to throw it out of his head, even though he knows that's probably what happened. And yeah, exactly. He's able to kind of lie about it to the others. I thought that was interesting that he sort of was able to sort of lie to the others, and he didn't like pass out or die from it. I thought that was really weird. Maybe it's something new with the having the Omokoshi Phoenix thing. But says that he's one of a kind, no one can be like him. Then we swap to Sonoza and the Brain Persons, who are doing the same thing, but the other side, where they're like, you're a lot like Taro, and he's like, no, there's no way, it's just me, blah blah blah. And he tells them to be more mindful of their manners and to follow him and to come with him. And 1 second. Hold on, 1 minute. So Tsuyoshi offers Tsubasa to have dinner with him, and he's surprised he takes the offer. I think because he's trying to get the idea of what's going on with with him and his wife and everything. Miho finds him in the park and thinks he's upset about work, and she makes him feel better, and he goes along with it, whatever. And she said tells her, "Would you still love me if I became a monster?" Like hinting at the Otsutsuki thing, but I think honestly hinting towards like, if I'm more evil, would you still want to be with me? And she says something about him being a cute monster and that she would still love him, basically. Yeah, and so New Otsutsuki is attacking the city. It's a Deca Ranger based one, and he's basically like deleting everybody that's running away from him with like the little license thing. They both are like the DonBrothers appear on the scene, and so do the Brain Persons. And Sonoe and Taro start fighting, but they're fighting just like each other, and it's pissing each other off that they're fighting the same. Absolutely ridiculous, but still a really good part to the episode. Again, I really like their dynamic. Even if they never make them officially a couple, I think it's still fun to have their dynamic there. So Um, one second here. I got to try to make sure my notes are right. We also get a short bit with Jiro showing that he was actually injured from his fight with Murasame in the last episode. He's feral Jiro, and then he takes out his phone and sees a picture of Rumi, his one childhood friend that he kind of has a thing for. And it kind of reverts him into like happy, nice Jiro, and he falls asleep. So it's really interesting. Again, little lore drop there just to include him in the episode. But interesting that like somebody like a loved one he's tied to can snap him out of it. I think that's kind of interesting. So later on it shows that's what it doesn't happen. I'm trying to get all my thoughts together. I apologize. My throat really hurts. So later on, Tsubasa comes over to have dinner with Tsuyoshi and Miho, right? And he lets it slip that he went there and got his hair cut by her. And he's like, oh, that's how you must know each other, blah, blah, blah. And then Tsubasa sees what she made, this certain kind of something, something bolognese, and the way she made it and the way it tasted, and he knows that it has to be her. And so I want to say that he thinks back to like the first time he made it for her and some certain thing she said about loving somebody or I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. That's what it is. So she had mentioned to him because he was trying to say how he wants to be with her forever and blah 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 in their little flashback, and she says to him, I bet you tell all the girls that. And that was just like a thing they would say back and forth with each other. But you tell all the guys that. But you tell all the girls that. And they're looking at a photo album of the wedding pictures for Tsuyoshi and Miho, and Tsubasa's jealous and like seeing himself in the pictures basically because that's what he wants. He wants that, you know, because he misses Miho clearly. Or I mean, Natsumi. And he finally just straight up says to her, I bet you tell all the girls that. And she instantly looks at him, and he kind of just stares at her because he knows that there's something going on here. Tsubasa leaves after this, and Miho chases after him. So she's like, what the hell? So he goes after him too, and that's when he sees them embrace, and it pisses him off and scares him. Like, what's going on? What is she doing with him? Whatever. But yeah, so she has regained her personality as Natsumi, and she has all her memories intact, and she's remembering all of it. It's really weird. I have my notes over here. I apologize. I keep looking back. I'm just trying to remember everything. I should have rewatched the episode. I'm very sorry. Yeah, so he's really upset. He sees them embracing. He's really, really upset about it. And this is paired with, of course, Tsubasa elated that finally she's broken out of whatever was happening, and now she's Natsumi again and remembers him. Yeah, we see him he like goes back home in like a slump, and he goes to sleep, and then we see him wake up the next day like happy and like totally fine. It's really weird until you get to the end of the episode. So they end up meeting the Hototsuki. Both of them kind of work together, the Brain Persons and the DonBrothers, sorta. And before this, we get them eating some Odin, and it's so spicy because Taro like challenges Sonoi to like eating the spicy one that he like cries, and when he cries, it's red like colored tears. It looks like he cried out all the Taro energy somehow. So I hope he didn't lose the upgrade entirely. I think that's kind of silly to give it to him for like one episode. But whatever. It's so funny to see them finally have their Odin date. But we also see that the Omokoshi Phoenix power-up thing can, the Goldan Momotaro thing can add on to other previous reds. So he puts in, I want to say it was Tokyo Red, pretty sure. And so we get Goldan Tokyo Red. So it's the Tokyuger suit with the Goldan Momotaro armor and the belt buckle, of course. But again, it's cool that it like lets him like cycle through the powers of the other, like he puts the gear in and it lets him use the powers of that suit with Goldan Momotaro also. I think that's really cool. We also get with the Otsutsuki in this episode the debut of Goldan Don Onitaijin. It looks really cool. I don't like that part of it. I think it's funny what they say, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I don't like that the thing covers up some of the other mecha head pieces because they talk and everything, you know, because it's the actual team members. And it's funny because when they do it for the first time, Tsubasa and I think it's Tsubasa, is it Kiji brother and Inu brother, whoever it is, are stuck behind the wheel. They're like, wait, I can't see anything. So I like that. I love the little added detail that they're talking about, like what they think about the combination as it's happening. But yeah, so and it was funny in the scene with the Noto trio, the Brain Persons. doing the Odin thing because they like dressed in like Earthling clothing and everything. So it's kind of funny seeing them in not normal clothes. Yeah, and so that's what happened. I'm sorry too. The Totsuyoki is actually the owner of the Odin truck thing, and Taro pisses him off. That's what turns him into the Totsuyoki, and they fight it near the end because he tries to say something cool like Sonoi just did, and about the Odin, and he ends up like basically scoring it like 32 out of 100 points, and it pisses off the guy, and so he turns into the Totsuyoki. We know who the guy is now. So they fight. Whenever they destroy the Totsuyoki, the DonBrothers do, so it saves the guy. And then at the very end, though, Kiji brother meets back up with Tsubasa, and they're talking back and forth, and everything's fine. And then he lets it slip. He's like, "But I know what's going on." He's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're not going to get away this time." Basically, essentially, I don't know if it's exactly what he says. My man Tsuyoshi calls the cops on Inu brother. They straight show up, grab Inu brother, put the cuffs on him. And he says, "But I'm not guilty. I'm innocent." And Tsuyoshi literally says, "Oh no, he's quite guilty," and walks away excited that he got him. I do apologize. Oh my god. Possibly put in jail, and that will keep him away from Miho Natsumi, wherever she is. So yeah, pretty shocking end to it. We also see Haruka's aunt, the detective lady, is the one that's going to be questioning Tsubasa. Next week's episode does show Tsubasa running around and with Natsumi, and it actually shows Kiji brother in custody himself. So I wonder what we're going to do with that exactly. There's also some scans that recently dropped that showed, I'm pretty sure it showed what the Crane Juto looks in its monster form, and also one of them taking over Tsubasa and making him like controlled by a Juto, a beast person, whatever. So yeah, I'm not really sure where all this is going to go exactly. What I'm thinking is that I don't know, because I thought that the Crane Juto would be in control of everything, but it seems like when Tsubasa said something specific to Natsumi, it broke her out of the like days of being controlled or something. I don't know, but I really don't see it working out for either of them. I almost have a thought that clearly that Miho isn't even real, and that because you've seen all the pictures, somebody mentioned this online, all the wedding pictures, it's just them. There's nobody else. There is no groomsmen, no best man, no maid of honor, no bridesmaids, nothing. No family, mom, dad, sisters, brothers, cousins, nothing. It's just them. It's really weird. Now, yes, technically, I guess we haven't seen every page of the scrapbook, but it's a little odd. But it was pretty shocking the way that they did this episode. I really wasn't expecting that to happen that way. I do wonder what it means for the team dynamic going forward, with them, clearly not being able to get along with each other, of course, with what's going on right now. I kind of have a really bad feeling that because it's anyway, they're just going to make it be that, like, somehow the Crane Juto is going to be killed and they'll both lose out on Miho/Natsumi. Or they'll separate out and have a clone, other half version where it's like, Tsuyoshi gets Miho and there's still a Natsumi for Tsubasa somehow. I don't know. But, pretty impressive. Like I said, I think I'm happy because anyway is probably finally bringing like real stakes and like seriousness to Sentai. Not that it isn't serious at certain points, but Sentai kind of prides itself on being kind of like the more goofy, funny series. Not that Kamen Rider can't, but a little less so than Sentai. And I like that he's kind of bringing some stakes and seriousness and a little bit of grit back to it. Not that it's like he slit her throat and then he anything gory like that, but just a little bit more grit than what it normally has. So overall, I really liked the episode. I was shocked so much. I would probably give it a perfect score of 10 out of 10. I think the action was good. I think dialogue was great. Character moments are really good. Really enjoying what's boiling to the surface and what's coming up with this whole storyline with Tsubasa and Tsuyoshi, Miho/Natsumi, all of that, and what's going to happen is very, very interesting to me. I'm very, very, very invested in it. Really enjoyed it. As far as content this week, I did get up my Geats episode 8 review today as we're recording this. So check that out if you'd like to see that. I did recently also put up my review of the Super Complete Selection Animation Digimon Tamers D-Arc review. I put that up kind of showing off the features of it and everything. Recently got that. I got the Takata version. I was so happy. It's so beautiful. Check that out if you're a huge Digimon fan. On the podcast this week, because I always try and promote what the podcast is doing, we're going to have two guests again. We're going to have Von Cooper, if you know him off Twitter, Mr. Cooper on his channel, Henshin Video Extraordinaire, and then also Squid Boy, who does a lot of like toy reviews and a bunch of other type of content on his YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about, part of the time talking about our favorite kaiju / monster designs from Power Rangers, Sentai, Rider, Ultraman, whatever, and then also like our scariest / creepiest either moments or episodes or moments within episodes of different Toku series. So yeah, look out for links to that and everything, and try and stay active in the chat if you'd like to watch us live. If not, you guys can totally listen to our velvety smooth voices through any way you can get podcasts. May they be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts at. Most likely we're available there. We're also going to be wearing costumes. I worked out a lot, and I started my weight loss journey recently this month at 256. I'm down to 240, so I've lost almost 20 pounds. I'm very happy, but I'm going to have my Rio Soul Red / Jono Fury Red suit on. So I'll be wearing that. Not the helmet the whole time, but I'll be wearing that suit. And the changer and the accessories with it for the most part. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to sit in that the entire time as far as the belt and everything, but I'll be in that for a majority of the podcast, so check that out. But thank you guys so much for watching, for subscribing, for commenting, liking, sharing, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys so much, but until next time, stay hooked on heroes. I'll talk to you later. Bye.